Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a new lecture in your course, Vagrant Essentials, Build Portable Environments by Eduonix. My name is Ahmed, and in this section we are discussing our first steps in creating a Vagrant machine and start playing with that Vagrant machine to see what can we do with it. Now, in the previous lecture we have seen that whenever a machine is created using the Vagrant init command, a Vagrant file is created in the directory where this machine was created. And in the previous lecture we have just started looking at that Vagrant file. Let's have a more thorough look. Now, at the end of the last lecture you have seen that we created a new directory that was called Vagrant VMs. Let's have a look. Okay, because we created the machine first at that directory at the root, at users Ahmed, this will make this directory the project directory of our Vagrant machine. This means that if we created more machines, they cannot be created in that directory. So for that reason we created a directory that will be hosting all our Vagrant VMs, and we called it Vagrant VMs, and inside it we created an Ubuntu 16 directory that will hold that specific Vagrant machine. Okay, so this is because each time you create a project, you create a specific directory for that project. This is how Vagrant differentiates between different virtual machines. This is how Vagrant differentiates between different projects. It is directory based. So each directory holds its own Vagrant VM. So it's a good idea, and it's recommended that you create a directory that will hold all your Vagrant VMs, and inside this directory you create another subdirectory or a child directory for each of your Vagrant machines. In our case we created a directory called Ubuntu 16. Okay, and let's have a look again at our Vagrant file. Perhaps we can use another editor just to give you a better view of the file. So we are in Vagrant VMs, Ubuntu 16, and this is the Vagrant file. Okay, and let's have a look. First of all, this file is written in the Ruby language. Ruby is a very famous language. It's just like PHP and Perl and Python and all those scripting languages. It is a relatively new language. It has been created in the 90s, and it is very commonly used these days in web applications and in other uses. This language is not a prerequisite for you if you want to be working with Vagrant, or if you want to be working with any of the systems that we are going to introduce in this course, and they are all written, and all their configuration files are written in Ruby. You don't have to be aware of Ruby, you don't have to be a Ruby developer, you don't have to have any experience in Ruby to be able to work with these projects and with the Vagrant file. As you're gonna see here, the options are very straightforward. They are very self-explanatory. In addition, this file is heavily commented. Each and every setting that you find here, you will find a very descriptive comment before it that explains exactly what are the available options and what does this command do exactly. In the previous lecture, we have briefly opened this file and had a look at its settings. As you can see here, the first settings is very, very self-explanatory. config.vm.box equals bento /ubuntu-16.04. This is the name of the box. Okay, and of course this is how Vagrant downloads and installs or deploys the Vagrant machine. It searches this directory by default, searching for the box, and when the box name is found, like in this case, it is downloaded to your local host, and then a Vagrant machine can be deployed out of this box. If we move down this file, we'll find that most of it is commented. In the course of this section and the sections that follow, we are going to uncomment settings upon demand, and we're going to see what those settings do exactly. Now, what is a box? A box in Vagrant refers to the template that is used to build environments. So you have the option to either enter the name of the box and let Vagrant search for that name for you, or if you have a custom URL, if you have a box that is not provided by Vagrant Up, and in this course we're going to see how to make your own boxes. So perhaps you created a box, or some friend of yours created a box and published it on another website other than Vagrant Up. You can actually specify the URL of that box and let Vagrant download and install or deploy that box for you. So a box is just a template that is used to deploy Vagrant machines. This template contains an image of the operating system along with any other prerequisites that may or may not be pre-installed with it. So for example, you're gonna find that some of the Vagrant machines or the Vagrant boxes that are on the website have the word Puppet amended to it. So if you have a look here, this is atlas.hashicorp.com. This is the company that created Vagrant. This is the company that maintains this project. And this is the website or the URL where all the official Vagrant boxes are. So have a look here at this box, for example. It's called Buffett. And if you scroll down, you're going to see that it upgrades to one of the changes that have been made, that it upgrades to CentOS 6.8 and Puppet 4.3. So from this we understand that Puppet configuration management system is bundled with this box. So when you download and deploy this box, you don't only get CentOS 6.8, you also get the Puppet 4.3 configuration management system pre-installed with that operating system. So that may give you a clearer idea about what a box is. A box is just a bare bones operating system, optionally bundled with additional software. Whenever you create a Vagrant machine or a Vagrant guest out of this box, all the pre-installed software or all the pre-bundled software gets installed automatically with this Vagrant guest, and it becomes immediately available to you. In our case, we have created an Ubuntu machine without any bundled software, but as you saw in the website, we have some Vagrant machines. You have some Vagrant boxes that come pre-bundled with other software like Puppet, for example. And as you saw in the previous lecture, you don't have to download the box each time you need it for building new environments. A download is required only the first time you use the box. And as we said, boxes can be downloaded from external URLs. They can also be manually added from other sources using Vagrant box add command. So if you are wondering how you can add a box out of a URL that is not the official HashiCorp or Vagrant up URLs, you can simply use Vagrant box add followed by the URL, okay, for the Vagrant box. Whatever that Vagrant box may be located at, Vagrant is going to download that box from that URL and deploy it the same way it deployed other boxes that were provided by the official Vagrant website. Now, in the coming lecture, we are going to start playing with our machine. We are going to examine various Vagrant commands that are used to display the status of the machine, to start the machine, to stop the machine, and so on. So, see you next.